Hello and welcome to Sophbox. I'm Sophie. Welcome to the channel. If you are struggling right now, stick with it. It can and will get better. Do not lose hope. Reach out to people, come here, write to me if you need, and you will get through it. I promise you. Today I'm going to be giving you the full lowdown on Citalopram, the antidepressant otherwise known as CELEXA. I promised you a while ago a full update on my experience coming off of Citalopram, and I thought I would combine it with more information about the drug in general. So in this video you can expect to find out more about why I went on Citalopram, what it was like being on it, and what it's been like coming off, what the withdrawal symptoms have been. And I'll also tell you a bit more about some of the risks and side effects people warn of going on the drug. So if you're considering going on Citalopram, or if you're already on it and wanting to check your experience against others, or if you're just curious, this is the video for you. Millions of people across the world are taking Citalopram, but there's really not that much information out there. So this is part of the reason why I'm making this video. If you've got any additional questions after watching this, please write to me in the comments below or via my website, which I've linked in the description, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Now, in case you don't know my channel, Sophbox, I'm here because I want to help people strengthen their mental and emotional well-being. I've been through my own journey with depression, which has seen me experience incredible lows, but I've come back up from that, and I want to share all the things I've learned on that journey so that you can get back on your feet too. I want this space here to be like a mental health gym. So just like you might turn to YouTube to find, I don't know, a fitness video, a yoga video, whatever, you can come here to boost your mental and emotional well-being. I genuinely think these skills have the capacity to transform society. If people were equipped with a mental and emotional toolkit from an early age, I think we'd see far fewer cases of mental illness and far fewer people on prescription drugs. I want to get this stuff taught in schools, but since that might take a while, I thought I'd put it all online for free so you guys can benefit in the meantime. If you haven't yet subscribed, click the subscribe button to stay up to date with all my latest videos. And now, let's get started with the full lowdown on Citalopram. Why did I go on Citalopram? I took it to treat depression, moderate depression, which I'd been experiencing for many years, and I had refused steadfastly to go on any antidepressant because I believed that I could get through it alone and I should get through it without any help of medication, because I thought that was giving up. Back when I went on it, which is now about a year and a half ago, I was feeling pretty hopeless. I was having quite a few suicidal thoughts. My family didn't know what to do. I didn't really know what to do. I'd seen many doctors. And so Citalopram was sort of like a desperate measure, which was recommended to me by a doctor as well as the therapist that I had just found. She recommended combining Citalopram with weekly therapy sessions. She said previous patients had seen good results, and that was the general consensus in the medical community. So that gave me a bit more confidence in going on it, and it's what I ended up doing. Now, before going on Citalopram, there's a bunch of things you need to know. You need to talk to your doctor about any pre-existing medical conditions you may have, because depending on what they are, Citalopram might not be the drug for you. It can affect the heart, for instance, so there's lots of warnings. If you've got pre-existing heart conditions or any heart conditions in your family, check with a doctor first before going on this drug. I'll link in a website with more information about some of the warnings you need to be aware of before going on Citalopram. It might be that your doctor isn't aware of all of them, so do check this list before you go on it yourself, if you're considering it. I was alarmed by some of the warnings, one in particular saying these tablets can increase suicidal thoughts. I thought, why am I going on antidepressants if they're going to make me feel worse? Luckily, that didn't happen for me, but there are cases of that happening for others. So what's really important, if you go on these tablets and you notice yourself feeling worse, having suicidal thoughts, number one, reach out to someone, talk to your family and friends, talk to your doctor. And secondly, do not take these thoughts seriously. Just as I talk about in other videos where we have to learn to get some distance from our thoughts, you don't have to believe what your thoughts are telling you. It's a story. It's fueled by these tablets in this case. So don't believe it. Stay calm. You will get through it. The world needs you around. So stick with it. Another thing to note before going on these tablets is if you're a woman or if you're in a relationship with a woman, there are very clear warnings saying do not get pregnant while on citalopram because the tablets can harm a baby. So make sure you take extra precautions not to get pregnant. For more information on effective birth control, I've also pasted in a link in the description below. It's also recommended not to drink alcohol while taking citalopram. And so I stayed off of alcohol for an entire year whilst taking the drugs. I'd actually noticed before, and I'm going to do a video on this, that alcohol had been dramatically affecting my mood and exacerbating my feelings of sadness. So I was pretty happy not drinking anymore. And it makes sense, I guess. Alcohol is a depressant. Taking antidepressants, it seems not really very sensible to combine the two because they just cancel each other out. So also consider that before going on them. I started off taking 10 milligrams a day. I was recommended to take 20 milligrams a day, but I wanted to start off with half the dose so I could just sort of test what sort of effect it had on me. And then I went up to 20 milligrams a day after a few weeks. Now, the first day I went on them, my lip went numb. And I remember being pretty worried about that. And I also felt some sort of tingling in my head. But that lasted literally no longer than a day or a few days in total. And after that, I didn't have any more strange sort of physical sensations. The tablets definitely made me feel calmer pretty quickly. Looking back, they made me a lot less negative and increased my general sense of well-being for sure. Although the full spectrum of emotions was still there, like I could feel joy and I could feel sadness, but in general, like the edge was taken off of them. I got less ruffled, less upset. Life in general became much more manageable. What are some of the side effects? Well, they say citalopram affects sleeping patterns, that you either sleep more or sleep less, have disturbed sleep, that it can affect your sex life or give you an upset stomach. There's a whole list of side effects on the leaflet, and I'll again paste more information below. Now, of all these side effects, including suicidal thoughts, which I mentioned before, the only thing I noticed was that I slept slightly longer and slightly deeper. Apart from that, I didn't experience any dramatic effects. This is the key point about citalopram for me. The tablets got me to a place where I was calm, where I was less anxious, where I could cope with life, with the everyday. I was able to talk through the issues that were fueling my depression. I was able to learn about the emotions I was experiencing and the thoughts I was having, and to learn some of the skills that I'm sharing with you now, things that help you handle difficult thoughts and emotions. On their own, I don't think the tablets would have fixed anything for me, but combined with the therapy, they did a great deal of good. Doctors recommend taking citalopram for at least 6 months. I took it for around a year. So just to talk you through my dosage, for a few weeks I took 10 milligrams, then I took 20 milligrams for a good 8.5 months or so. Then I went back down to 10 milligrams for another 3 months, and then I came off completely. So, what was coming off citalopram like? Well, when I started taking 10 milligrams instead of 20, I didn't notice any significant effect. I still felt calm. I still felt able to handle some of the things that I was experiencing and continue to learn these skills. But when I totally came off the tablets around 3 months ago, several things happened. I felt very dizzy for a couple of days, very lightheaded, pretty nauseous. I missed a period, which is extremely unusual for me. And I also noticed a racing heart on and off for several weeks. And sometimes I still sort of get it now, and I do need to go to the doctor just to get that checked up on because that is in the leaflet. My mood also became much less stable. One moment I was calm and felt happy. Another, I was weeping, really down, unable to cope, I felt like. And I thought, God, I'm back at square one, having done this whole year, this whole journey where I feel I've learned so much. Coming off the tablets, maybe it was all they're doing, and now how can I handle this again? Luckily, at that point, I was still seeing my therapist, and what she had to say was really reassuring. She said it's totally normal to have this sort of like roller coaster coming off of the tablets. Many people, she said, experience it. Changing moods, anxiety, dizziness, racing heart, all these things she mentioned. She said it's important not to attribute it specifically to the tablets or to attribute it to depression, but just to sort of sit it out, be aware of it as a potential withdrawal symptom, but not to worry too much about it happening, and like I say in my other videos, to accept the emotion and then to respond with kindness and ask what you need in that moment. And that allowed me to stay patient and calm and to ride the ups and downs of coming off citalopram. And now, thankfully, it's 3 months since I came off the tablets and I'm feeling much, much better. Generally, I'm a lot more stable overall. I'm not having those real lows that I had before. And in general, there's no adverse effects that I have been aware of in coming off the drugs. I'm really quite grateful for the experience of having gone on citalopram, having been so cynical about it, because of what I said, that it enabled me to learn these tools that have proved so transformational for me. I'd be really keen to hear what your own experiences on citalopram are. Please get in touch via the comments below. Thank you for watching this video, and if it's been useful to you, subscribe and share with your friends, anyone you think might benefit from it. And if you've got any more questions, please get in touch either via the comments below or via my website. If I've missed anything, also do the same. And most important, if you're struggling right now, remember you can and will get through it. The world is a better place for having you in it, and it might not feel like that right now, but I promise you it is true. I'm sending you love and strength, and let's get this year off to a good start. I'll see you again soon.